Hello everybody, welcome to my live stream of my Vader project. This is day 7 part 2. To catch up what I did in part 1, maybe just have a look there, or as a small kind of recap. It is about the iconic mouse piece with the innards of it. That's what the stream has been about, and I will finish this up now. It's not a whole lot to do, a whole lot left to do on it, and then I will move on the helmet. So, welcome to the stream. Okay, I will position Mr. Vader to this side here. So everyone should know what it is about that I'm doing here, and I hope no one thinks that this is the finished thing, or it is not. Far from it. Okay. When I left off, I was working on this piece here. And there's not too much more to do, but now I need to build up this lower ridge here. Wait, I will try to look at this. I will have to build up this lower piece to the same thickness or width as the side pieces are. Once that is done, it needs to be rounded off at both sides, and then I will have to install this like dent thing in the nose. Here, can you see that? This indentation there, and therefore I need to decide on the height of this thing, and then build this inside thing. Cut away some stuff in here, but I might do that later on, for the glue is still a bit dry and I can't file it down. Yep, that's the stuff for the next like 20 minutes, and after that I will move on with other stuff. Okay. I think this camera serves this well. Okay, let me bring you in here. Okay. Yeah, first I will create a flush flush part here. Okay, the width here is, if I remember right, some like 9 millimeters. Okay, it increased to 1 centimeter. Okay, there's just maybe one more layer, and I want the layer that I will be adding to have the cardboard to have the direction of the cardboard, this wavy pattern, like 90%, 90 degrees turn, as compared to the first thing that I use. Okay, I really like to use the boxes from this certain online site, and a lot of my friends and family, when they come visit me, like bring me their boxes that they accumulated over time. This way, there's always quite a lot of them here, and it's a really good cardboard for detailed work and for rounded surfaces. For it got a very small distance between each single wave here. It's not very high. If you crisscross it while layering it up, it produces very strong results. So it is nice for building stuff from it. Yeah, I'm not sure. Now, here, this width is, it's not really wide enough. This means I will prepare another edge. I like to have a clean cut on the edge that I'm working on, and now I can cut both at once. Once. Okay. Here, when I cut both at the same time, I know that they're both the same width, and that makes it easier. Now I want to attach this to here. Which means I have to cut this down a bit further. So, and here for this mouse piece, there's just multiple steps that I've done till now. And if you're especially interested in them, you can later watch the day 2, the day 7 part 1 video. It will be up, I don't know, or I'm not sure yet, but I think it will be up in I don't know, latest tomorrow. So for the most people that will watch this, it will already be up. Here, now I just have to add some cardboard to here for this is not the same level, so I don't have a good foundation for me to put the glue on. And while I cut the this to the right length, I can already like glue them together, for it needs a little bit of time until the glue really sticks. This way I don't waste too much time, and this way I don't have to watch glue dry. I try to make sure that on one side that both edges are aligned to a single surface. And for me, putting this on here, yep, no, I just go ahead. I don't need to prepare anything. Here I just smear the glue into the cardboard and push that in here. Once again, I try to make sure that the surface is level. Same for the other side. Hold on. This is long enough. I can cut away the overlap afterwards. Here I smear it in there, so that I have the biggest possible surface to connect to the desired new home surface. Now this will be glued down to here, and this gap I will just fill up with smaller pieces of cardboard. And I try to use the wavy side of the cardboard as the for the outside edge, because it's much easier to produce a really good looking edge from that side, at least for me, or it has more strength. I know that only these areas will be points of contact. At least for this next piece of cardboard. So I smear it in with my fingers and try to make sure it's level. And then I just push down on it. Okay, I wasn't watching the live stream. Okay, then I here try to push down on it. Now there is just this small gap here, and I will fill that up with some cardboard rest that I have lying around here. Okay, I don't know how deep this is. Hello to the viewers that decided to join me on my way for on my it's really a quest actually to build my highly detailed Vader helmet. That will be a 3-piece one, very close to the movie used prop, and I'm actually designing it, or started to take all the measurements from my head so that I will be able to wear it myself. I don't really plan on doing that, at least maybe just once for the video, but it is very nice to know that it's possible. And my head was available for measurement, and that's something you could see in the day one, video one of this live stream. I will push this in there, and I'll prepare another stripe of cardboard in the same width. This way I can really carefully like decide how deep I want to push them in there. For if it's just one, there's like no resistance. It would just drop in there, and yeah, that would be everything that I can influence. Some of you might ask why I drew on the cardboard here, or this does not look why I drew on the cardboard, for it looks yeah, not really good to have that in the final build, and that is a very valid question. But I will finish this whole thing off with one layer of some kind of packing paper, and in this way I will have a very even surface, which means I can use the surface of my sculpt for measurements, for sketches, and for any kind of helpful geometry or markings without impacting the final model. And on my channel there are two masks, or actually there's 3 times where I started to get familiar with this idea to cover the whole thing with some paper, so that I built the structure, and that I'm then like gluing something to the top of it, and in this way come up with a really clean surface, like this. The first thing that I did with this technique was the Necronomicon from Evil Dead, and I did it there because I think it was essential to have a seamless surface, or as seamless as possible. And I did a lot of tests before I did the Necronomicon build, and it worked out so good, so well, that I decided to use it for masks then. And then I did the Freddy, not the Freddy Krueger. Then I did the Jason mask. And after that I did the Hannibal Lecter mask. So all with this technique. And by now I think I got like a good grasp of it. Or I got enough control over the technique that I think I can use it for this here, which is just by orders of magnitude more complicated. But yeah, I hope I practiced it enough to approach my favorite, or one of my favorite movie villains of all time. Very good. This is nearly finished. Yeah, it just needs to fill in the last pieces here. Last to give me a good structure. Oops. And it's so if I fill everything, right now, then I have a much easier time to cover everything with the aforementioned brown bags, or this like postage, postal paper, packing paper, whatever you call that. Okay, this is for this side. This piece here will be way too long when I put it in there, but I will cut it down after the glue dried a little bit. And for it to have a good connection, I will drop some glue in right now and spread the glue in here. And now I just okay. Here, as you can see, this piece gets wider when it comes to the end. So I will take the other side. For there is more pressure on the cardboard, and then it's easier for it to dry in place. Here now, when I look in there, it's like standing up, and I will force it down a bit so it's level with the other piece there. And to make sure that it's not wobbling around, I secure it with some glue from this side, and I smear the rest into the gap there. Okay, now I will trim the side of the mask. Okay. I will round this parts of the mask off. Yep. Now I think I can continue to the to the nose piece. This looks strange. So now I will have to decide how far down this should be. Yeah, I want this edge to be like really down here, which gives me or presents me with the opportunity to see how that's hard to see. Let's switch cameras. Here, if I put this on like this, I can see that the nose that I built right now goes up to this point here, so to my upper arch that I drew on there, which in turn means I can just and take that into account. Just like sketch the thickness of the wall on there that I want to have. Not wall, but of this plastic piece that I want to have. And yeah, this needs to go. And the this says, and the inside here needs to be done or be dealt with, and then it should be gone. Here I just try to get rid of this piece. Here, that it's not perfect in here is like not really a problem. I can always just add little pieces in there, and then it will be okay. Here, this might be a bit difficult to cut now. Oh, no, here, this is the perfect height. Maybe if I just put something under there, I can start to cut this. Oh, let me Hi to everyone watching. Are there people that returned from video 1 in the chat? I will have to find a way to do longer videos without me losing stuff for the channel. Yeah, I will see. Here, to put something underneath here really helps to cut this. For I wouldn't or here, because of this wall here, I can't cut it on the flat surface, so I needed to put it on a higher level, something like that. And the same thing applies for the top part that I needs to cut off. Okay, here, very nice roundness. Now I need to get rid of this part. And I try not to squeeze the cardboard together, for I want this part to look like as artificial or as machined as possible. And as I said before, this is the most iconic single detail on Darth Vader's helmet. So the extra time that I'm putting in here should be time well spent. And now when I'm cutting here, I try to step like this through the whole cardboard, so that there's markings on the back side of it, for then I can turn it around, push it against the flat surface, and can you, I think, now I got this markings on the back side, and now I can use them as a guide for my cut here. And for I don't want to damage the edge, and I want to have a nice round thing going on here, and that's why I'm not completely following the form here. It's not really round. It's not really round there, and not really round here. But for these small details, I like to use the files. Now I will round off this part, and maybe give it some attention on the inside. Then I should have a nice even curvature to the whole thing. And with me having like scribbled all across the surface here, I can't really tell if this looks good, so it's easier to work from the back side here, for I have a much better contrasting edge to actually judge the roundness of that surface. Okay, this piece here is a bit stubborn, and I think I'm using some very small scissors here to get rid of that. Yep, and for the most part it's finished. Now I'm just filing in one direction. Okay, this outside actually looks quite good. Hello to everyone that's watching. Once again, hello to everyone that's watching. And thank you for joining me in this Vader experience. And now for this part, I will try to build this indentation that is above Vader's nose, and I'm not completely sure how I will do it yet. I did it here, but there I really just pressed in some very sculptable cardboard, but it got some creases that I don't really like. I might try the same technique, but do it in 2 layers. That actually one layer is like the mold for the next piece that I push in there. Okay. Another thing which I haven't thought about until now is that this part here has quite a lot of depth to it, and I really don't know if I want to build it as 2 pieces, where this is the front piece and then attach the backside to it. And I think I explain what I mean by first showing this. Here, can you see that there's this here? This front part seems to be a different part, at least here, and I think this is what they did to the updated helmets of Darth Vader, to give it some more detail there. But if you look at this here, switch that. If you look at this, then it is just one continuous piece. Yeah, and there I'm not sure how I will handle that. But actually, I think I will go 2 pieces right now, And if the two pieces don't look good, I can just cover the seams of it. And if I'm doing two pieces, that leaves me with the bonus that I don't have to do anything to this anymore. For, yeah, this will be just attached to the main mask. That would be the easiest thing. On the other hand, if I would try to have it as one piece, I would need to extend all edges all the way. Yeah. Now I need to fit in this nose indentation. For this to be strong enough, I need to first I need to extend the edge here, so I need some more cardboard behind here. Yeah, but, okay, and now I would do exactly the thing where I hoped I could save some time. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that, but if I'm going to extend this whole edge here, then I can as well extend it on the lower part of this model. So, my brilliant idea of not extending and trying to put it on as a separate part just imploded. Here I just try to enhance the curvature here a bit. Okay, if I'm going to extend this edge, I need some cardboard that is a bit wider as compared to this, or I would need like countless levels, and that will just take way too long. That means I will take some thicker cardboard at the foundation, and then maybe put some of this of this not so thick, for this thinner cardboard, but I don't think that thinner is the right word to describe width or height. Okay, I think you know what I mean. Here I try to give myself a very clean edge to work from. The thicker the cardboard, the more important, or the easier it is, if you want to get a really nice cut, to just don't apply too much pressure and just go about it for 3, 4, 5 times till the knife went through the whole thing. This way you won't compress the different layers of the cardboard. Here, and now one tip that I have is, let me show you that. Here, this is a double layered cardboard, or as I can just describe it in German, it's double wave. So Doppelwelle. So there's actually 3 layers of paper, and between the first and the second there's one wavy part, and between the second and third there's a wavy part. And a lot of times you see that one wave thing is bigger than the other. And what I found is that if I want to do rounded surfaces with this, or if I want to create rounded surfaces with this and want to have a nice surface, it is best to have the thicker wave part on the inside of the curvature, which means like this, for example. For if you bend it into the other direction, here, you will always have this big things showing through. The waves will show through. I mean, the waves will show through on the other side too, but they just got half the size of the other layer. So just be aware, and yeah, be aware of this thing. Now I'm trying to measure the thickness that I want from my piece here. Always try to measure it against what you already have, so you don't need to use a ruler and everything, and you can't really measure anything wrong. Or you're just taking the dimensions from something that is already there. And you can be kind of confident that the pieces will fit. And here, as I said, thicker cardboard. More, just use the knife without too much pressure for like 2, 3, or 4 times. And then it should be done. Now, what I want to do is to look if it's long enough. Yep. To start down here, I will once again measure it against what I have. Okay, I will take this piece of cardboard. Now, to make it easier for me, wait, this will be official in this camera. Yeah, I just peel this off so that I get an even surface. I think I just forgot to get rid of it before I glued it down. Okay, now I want to bring this around the whole thing in one piece. So I'm just like very coarsely getting the curvature for the top here. Just try to look where to get out of it. This looks like right. And something like here. And I will pre-cut this once again against my model. So I have the angle, the length, everything. Now I need glue to be applied to the sides here, and a little bit down here. Same on the other side. Yeah, I will spread that out. And as for the I forgot which way I try to do this. Shit. Okay. As for the glue for this side, for the bottom side of this, I will directly apply it to the cardboard here. And this way I have the possibility to like smear it in with my finger to really press it into this double wave thing. And the deeper it gets in there, it takes longer to dry, but it adds a whole nother level of stability to the build. So now I'm first attaching the two sides, and for this rounded part, now I can go inside and make sure that it's not sticking over or looking over the edges that I have here. Can you see that? Oops. So I can do it from the top side too. Here now I apply pressure and just try to match it up as evenly as I can right now, and then use that position to really push it down. Once again, checking that the sides are pressed against it too, and then I can start to prepare the next stripe of cardboard. For here, thickness wise, I can still use one more layer, and then I should have the a good enough height for this, so that one side is flush against the other side. Now here there's just some micro stuff, and the main thing here is that once the glue dried on top, you can just compress the cardboard with very little force to get rid of any kind of overlap. Okay, where have I? Oh, here. Now I will just measure it against the cardboard piece. I will just measure it against the cardboard piece that I cut earlier. Now, this way I will have like the same thickness. Here, not too much pressure. I don't want to damage the cardboard. And now the same measuring process that I've just done. Comes about. Now I will do the same thing that I've done before. Here I don't even need to angle the cut. Here. Now for the whole top piece, I will just squash the cardboard. Therefore, I don't need the same height for the cardboard as I do here. So I just compress the cardboard now, so it does less heights. I will do that for the whole top part. And this way you can get different heights out of the cardboard. And here, so I don't need to use like thicker or thinner cardboard. I can use the same for both. And once I smear the glue in here, and when the cardboard is just rounded and got something it can be glued against, it got at least the same strength, if not an increased strength. So this really helps to do. Okay, here I'm going to get rid of it at this point. And this time I will remember which was which side. Which was which side. Put it down like this. Then once again, the side walls I will do on the target piece. I will soak in glue or cover with glue on the target piece. And like this, and I will fill up the cardboard on the piece that I'm gluing on there, so I can get in between the layers. And the nice thing is when you are loading the cardboard here with glue, even if it's a lot, it will, while it's drying, it will actually like drip down or inside of the cardboard, and this way it will even help your overall strength and the connection to the piece. But the good thing now, if you're thickening your wall like this, it takes a whole lot of time, but the added pieces of cardboard right now, I have to push that in here, have two two surfaces that we are gluing them to. It is once this side, which is here now, and then it is this side, which is on the other side. So this is a very sturdy connection. Okay. I'm too dumb to type. That meant hi. So here I'm trying to pay attention that there's as little overlap as possible. For right now, I can address the problem. Like here, you can see it wants to come out, but I can easily press it down and just push it a bit to get to a really flush connection between these two pieces. And this saves time later on. Okay, here there's a bit of pushing and pulling, and this is coming along nicely. So I started this to actually insert this indentation for the nose, and I think I got an idea how I want to move forward with the nose. Do I need to get rid of this? No. I just flatten this part here. And now what I'm trying to do now, I hope it will work like good enough. Okay, this is too wide. I want to put this in there and take the curvature like here, like this. And then I will just add a small piece like this to have the curvature in the other direction. And the small gaps can just be filled by stuff that I press in there. So this is too wide. Now I will have this okay. And now I have to watch out that I can actually, after I've done it, still. So, bleh. I don't want to go beneath this level here. For this part will be cut out. And yeah, so that there's just this part missing and the curvature starts directly behind that. So I don't want to press it all the way down. And I have to watch out for that while I glue it in. And I think the best way to glue it in without smearing stuff everywhere is to put the glue on the inside, then spread it here. This way I can push it into the cardboard of the loop, which, as I said before, helps with strength. And what is beneficial here, if I don't get any glue to the top, it is easier for me to cut away the cardboard that I don't need. Okay, this will be inserted like this. I push it down and up here. Oops. And now I I need to make sure that there's a connection between the between the cardboard and the cardboard glue and the side of the wall here. Here, this is just a bit of like fiddly work. What I can do to actually help this is to support it with some cardboard from below it, and then this way this can't drop down and it has something to stick to. That's what I will do. I will build a small here I can maybe use the top of it and then just glue one piece in the middle. Here I will take away some height. This knife is not very sharp anymore. Okay. Now I can use this in the middle and cut that away from here. Now I have to check if this is thick enough. Here, this piece will go in there too. Hey, yeah, this is all just to have some kind of foundation for this lower part here. And if I check the whole thing against the Vader mask, I think it starts to look kind of good. It will be cut a bit. I don't want it to stand out this far. I will actually see how far I will cut it and in which way I will cut it. If I take out this whole piece and then push it in there, I am not sure about that yet. Now, as I said, I want this insert to stabilize the this rounded thing. in there. Okay, so I just make one big block. Try how much I can put in there, and then like this, and then I will force it in there, so it will hopefully provide some strength to this dimple thing here, or this nose indentation. Okay, that went quite well. For now I have something I can work against when I try to smooth out the surface of the cardboard here. Very good, very good. Even though here, as you can see, without anything down there, it like got nothing to grip to, and that's why I will now here. Okay, this here was not able to really sit in there with the with no places to connect to. So I will just cut myself some little pieces here. As you can see, they're meant to go inside the edges here, and hopefully provide some further support for this thing. And there's a lot of small stuff now. But I think this piece of the mask is worth all the attention it can get. For, as I said before, if you just see this thing on a poster and everything is dark, and you just see this with 2 screws here and this indentation there, it's black and shiny, you know it's Vader. So this is so iconic that it's important to be recognizable. So I mean, I wouldn't need to like obsess over it in this way, but I want to have a Vader that is at the top of my possibilities at this point. So I mean, it will be interesting to see what I will build in the future. But right now, when I look at the first stuff that I published at the channel, there's a whole lot of evolution going on, even though it's not really comparable. And the stuff that I built after the after the fallout thing for the hand, the arm bracelet for Fallout. There was still a whole lot of testing, but then starting with a DL-44 blaster from Han Solo, I think I at least got I had the concept down of how to sculpt with cardboard, and so there's not just much of a technical jump. But the first stuff I did was just without any refining of edges. It was just hot glue and cardboard. And that was it. Okay. This is actually looking better than I thought. Maybe I I won't use this cardboard, for this is so coarse. Maybe I will just build this out from the inside and then use packing paper. For there I have way more control over the curvature, and that might be helpful here. Let's try. And if I don't like it, I can just rip it out. Here I try to here the inside will be something like this, but I don't need it to be thick at the wall. I think this might be a good idea, actually. I love it when the plans or the way that I was approaching something, if it just suddenly changes. And if this works now, then I have a new way to do some understructures. Yeah. So I try to get as close to the curvature as I can with this stuff that I'm filling in, and to then just finish it off with one layer of paper. Maybe I won't even use this packing paper. For here, if I strip this of its cardboard, that's really good paper too. Okay, I just need some here's some stuff for this edges in there, the holes, the gaps. Wait, how will I approach that? I think I can try to really this is the outside, the inside. So if I have this and then take some material off here, and then I should be able to really push it in there. I take some more glue Get this in the right shape, and then I will push that in there. Yeah, okay, it went in. Okay, I'm just so this is more a bit of a paper mache thing now. Yeah, I will just fill it up with some random crap that I have lying around here, and just sculpt the curvature, which I'm then going to close off or to seal off with some kind of paper. I'm trying to improve the edge a bit. Overall, it looks kind of good, I think. This might be not the best thing to do on a live cast, live stream. But with every model there's detail work, and yeah, try to get the big shape right and try to get the little things right, and that just helps the whole model. And yeah, and now it is here I've never done a surface indentation that was round or rounded. Here actually the first time that I approached one with this, I really just pressed it in like so, which is actually, if I when I look at it right now, not bad. Just what I did not like were the creases here, but I could have covered those creases. So, but yeah, now I have a different way to approach it, which is just to fill up the hole beneath it and sculpt out the curvature. This is here definitely this is a more controlled method, but it is definitely the more time-consuming one too. So it's yeah. Now what I need to do is to get that sounds stupid as a German. Here I need to get rid of this, so I can really see the front part of the curvature. I'm still looking out for these connections, that they're staying flush, and sometimes it takes really long for the glue to dry, depending on how much glue you used and just how much glue is on top of each other. So if I have just one drop of glue and spread it out a bit, it dries in like 30 seconds. But if I wait for the whole drop to dry, it needs like 24 hours. And with this technique of smearing glue into the cardboard, you make sure, which is a good and a bad, but that's why I'm talking about it now, that the glue stays stays liquid or sculptable for a longer time, for a longer period, and this way you can influence it more over a longer period of time. So if you want to have a fast drying connection, don't use too much glue, and vice versa. I try to get this out of there now. And easier said than done, or as done than done, I don't know. It's hard to really get in there. And what you can witness right now is cardboard that is not really dry, and it's really hard to cut. For it's, yeah, it just wants to be sculpted, and so be it. I will now just sculpt this here. Okay. And if I can't get it out there the way I want to, then I just give it some additional glue to really soften it, as I said before, even though I was not talking about what I was doing here right now. But yeah. Now I will just sculpt the whole thing here and then cover it with one piece of stronger paper. So I think this way I have the most control over the curvature here. And I want this to be really round. Now I see that, well, let me get this out. Now it seems that I still should add some material in there. For here is a small ridge that I don't want to have, that I don't want to be present in the final thing. So, and here, look, I just squashed one side of it, and here I take some of the glue that is already in there, maybe give it a bit more. And now I try to create a seamless or nearly seamless surface between the front here and the back. And now I can show you what I meant with that the cardboard from cardboard is actually quite good to use too. Here, if I have this double wave thing, then I'm just moving in there with some like pointy object. Here I pull that away. Now I have this wavy layer. Now I want to get rid of the wavy layer, and I do the same thing here and try to pull it apart. Now here I have like paper that has exactly the same color as the surrounding cardboard, which I can use to fix some gaps and stuff like that. Here for sometimes if you want to have or if you try to work seamless, it's hard to come by paper that has like the exact same color or tint as the cardboard that you're using. And yeah, therefore it is a good way to extract some paper from the cardboard that you are using. I think that's quite a neat technique. And yet I should have used the way I did it on the rough sculpt. This is it's ridiculous how much time I spent on this. I mean, if it would look like a lot better, okay, but this is like till now it's not really special or stuff, so it's yeah, should have thought about that a bit more in the beginning. And now I will use this in there, and here's the first hint of what it can look like after I'm finished. I bring this all the way to the front with my fingers. Okay, now on the other hand, I have to say that this curvature here, at least here, is looking really nice. Okay, I think I have to correct myself with saying it's ridiculous how much time I spent here. Well, this is a really nice curvature. It is still a ridiculous amount of time, but at least it's a better curvature than the one that I have in the first draft, or in the rough form here. I like this. I like this. I think while I'm at it, I have to wait for the glue to dry here before I can move to the other half, or this quarter quarter thing. Okay. I will take care of these two edges now, and this will be done in the classic way by now. This is the technique I've been using since I more or less accidentally found it. And there, what was really helpful here was that I was not using traditional paper glue, but that I used wood glue. And wood glue comes in this bigger bottles, and that meant that I most of the time applied way too much glue, and then I wanted to get rid of the glue, and that's when I started to push it into the cardboard. Yeah, the rest is history for me. I was very happy that that happened, because once the cardboard was softened, and I don't know how I did it at first. I think I just used my fingers to sculpt the edge, but then once I noticed how good it or how easy it is to sculpt the whole thing, and I started using this kind of sculpting tools, which I normally used for Super Sculpey and stuff like that. Once I did that, it yeah, has never been the same. And this gets rid first of this wavy thing, and you kind of protect the whole build, for there's no you close the way to the inside. And the edge is much stronger, so much less susceptible. Yeah, maybe that's a word, I don't know. I'm not sure right now. Here, first it's rounded off. So it's not that easy to just, if you hit something, to get this kind of where it gets all like this pulled apart, and then because you smeared glue into the edge, there's here, if just for explanation, maybe the glue is like 1 or 2 millimeters inside here, maybe a bit less, but once this is dried, you have an edge that is containing that contains some kind of PVC strength plastic stuff. I don't even know what it is in here, what it's called. But this stuff dries under the surface. It really holds everything together and forms such beautiful edges. And the nice thing about rounded off edges is that they can catch the light. I don't know if you know what I mean, but I can, and I will show you. Here, if you, for example, look at look at this knife. Yeah. Here, this is a very the thickness of the blade. Yeah. Here, there is no highlight. Here, the only difference in lighting that you can see is here on the top side. Yeah? So the edge is like invisible. The edge is so thin that you can't see the edge. And the division between this side of the blade and this side, so where here's a different color than here, for it's a different reflection. This is a very, very thin edge. And now if you compare that to a rounded edge, here, can you see what I mean? Light bounces off the rounded edge. And this really helps stuff to have more mass, looks solid in a way. For perfect edges, here you can just see perfect edges on like this, on blades, for example. Here, even this piece of steel scissors. Let me. It's hard to say what you can see in the. Yeah, here. Can you see the difference between this side and this side? And it is clearly divided by an edge on which the light is bouncing around. So, and this rounded edge thing is what really helps to set your cardboard models apart. For here, there's light won't bounce off a single sheet of paper, but light will bounce off a rounded edge. And here you can even see it now. That can you see it? I hope you can. Here there's one tone, and it's much lighter on the edge, and then there is another tone. And if I just here show you this, yeah, there's nothing on the edge. So this technique really helps to make everything you build with cardboard look much, much better. Yeah. And right now for me, this is just foundation for, as I said before, I will cover the whole thing in with an additional layer of paper. I'm just trying to build a better surface here, which is still kind of early. I should give the cardboard a bit more time to, or the glue that is in the cardboard. But I at least want to have something that looks kind of finished. Not finished, but where you can see the direction it's heading in. And yeah, that's why I'm doing this now. Here I just I don't know if I want to address that or not. No, I will. Here, can you see the grill of the mouse? Hey, Mimisario Games, you are back. Thanks for joining in. Here, can you see the grill here? And it's all one surface. And I actually want it to be one surface, but this here, this one is recessed too deeply, which means I will bring them up, or bring them to the same surface as the others for a unified surface. really helps this technical part. And Memosario, you had been on the first stream today, so the one that's like 2 hours ago. When it ended, were you kicked out? I just want to learn about the way this streaming thing works here on YouTube. Or did you leave? Do you know what I mean? Or I hope you know what I mean. Now this will come up to here, and for the and I will blend this surface into the existing one with cutting the cardboard like this. So here, this way it's much thinner on the back side, and I can just like really blend it in there. It will be nearly invisible. Okay, hi, Memosario. Have you been watching the stream 2 hours ago? I try to break it up now. Okay, now here you can see I put that on there. Now I press this down and try to with a little bit of pressing and moving it back and forth. I have this here, as you can see, move directly into the surface now. And that is what I wanted. That is great. Now I will round off these corners here. And here for the front part, I will file. Okay, and Memosario again. And when the stream was over, did you leave or did you get kicked? Huh? And if you don't understand, that's cool. Welcome back. I'm very happy to see you in the chat. Hi. So I will build or file it to the right shape. For with this cardboard stuff here, I will once again fill it with glue and then just mold it around the edge. But that's not possible with this frontward facing thing here. Okay, thanks for clearing that up. I'm just trying to learn how the streaming thing works here. Thanks. Okay, this starts to look promising. Okay, I will fill up the side edges now with some glue. Maybe I will really finish this thing now in this stream. Try to get the whole surface unified, everything, for then this is a one-stop thing. So then I just have to touch it again when I try to really fit it into the mask. But I know that all the other stuff is taken care of. So I will fill up this part too, and as you will be able to see, all these edges will look really good afterwards. Then there's one more edge to take care of here, and then and then I will brown paper the whole thing. Here now, watch me sculpt this whole thing. Here now I try to make this here conform to the roundness that I filed in to the front here. Same on this side. And now the roundness that I filed in here now gives the direction for the shape, and here I can see the roundness, and then this should be followed through. And here it is still a bit too high. It's coming out there now. I just sculpt the edge. It always tries to stick out a bit again, and so I will just tumble it in my hand and try to watch all it from all angles, so I can here, for example, it's not round here, so I can take advantage of the smooth cardboard as long as the glue is not really dried or not fully dried. Hey, here now, I'm just concerned with the front lip of this, and here you can see I'm not trying to push it in too far. So I just want the edge to be closed to the point that I can't see the wavy pattern anymore. And so that it can, like as I have shown you before, reflect the light. So rounded corners. It's the same thing when you're doing 3D work. So if you're 3D modeling, everything just looks shit or like really yeah, cheap before you round off the edges. So it's a must. You must round off the edges or it will never really look good. And that's a thing from real life to computer graphics and the other way around. But to do 3D modeling on a computer, the modelers that are really good, they can do exactly the same thing with clay and stuff like that. For the ones that are highly regarded in the industry, they're all good sculptors no matter what tools you give them. This sculpting on a computer is just one more tool for them. So, and that is my my approach to when I'm doing 3D modeling. I am still doing a traditional little maquette first, which I can then have in my hand, like really look from all sides, get the look and feel for it, look for the volume and stuff. That still really helps. I'm not sure if this will change. For now I have a 3D printer, and if I will prototype stuff in the computer, do a 3D print, look at that, and then continue to work in the computer, I can't really tell how this will influence my workflow, but actually I hope that there's some still some place for the analog stuff that I really like. Very nice, very nice. Now I will round off these corners here, the outside ones. And I think this might be a nice video for people that want to know how to finish something. And here, even though it's just a small thing, but it has a lot of characteristics of different builds in there. There's like curved surfaces, rounded edges, different levels that move into each other, different thicknesses. There's a whole lot of stuff that that you will have to deal with a lot of times when you're doing cardboard stuff. So this might be a good video to where I can point people to that are asking like how to really finish a model, even though this is not finished yet. But as I said, I decided to finish this now with all the chaboom, with wrapping it and stuff like that. Which means now when I'm going to finish it now, I have to fill in this gaps that are still in here. And the So, and when I finish it now, then maybe there's a better idea of how all the edges will look in the end. So for everything will be taken care of. You won't be able to see any kind of cardboard pattern anywhere. And look at these sides here. This will be tubes that are coming along perfectly here. It will be a smooth surface across all of this. And there will be all the detail on the top of the head. And here you see the first step into the direction that I wanted to take it. For here I started to blend between surfaces. But this was just to establish the form. And here, this now is the first of the pieces that will approach the kind of quality, or not, quality is not a good word. Kind of finish that the whole thing should have in the end. Or here is then like an example of what I'm aiming for with the whole helmet. My voice is starting to get really weird. I don't know. I hope I'm not getting sick. But the voice sounds like it right now. I think 2 hours ago it was different. Even though this sounds funny. Or it's like, I don't know, like an old Western kind of feel to it. Okay, here what I'm doing right now is just filling in some of the gaps, because when I will like cover this in packing paper, or I don't know how I will exactly finish it, but I will have stuff run over here. For this must be a smooth transition, or I want it to be a smooth transition between this and this surface. So this kind of thing has no place being there. So I just fill the cardboard with glue, that it gets softer, so that I can sculpt it into the creases. And that way it is much easier to have a nice transition between one shape and the next, if the cardboard gets smoothed or gets weakened, or if the cardboard, when the cardboard is soaked with the water from the glue. And it seems like I will need one more piece of cardboard in here, but I'm trying to carefully layer it up. Or adding stuff here is easy with this type of thing. Why do I have here? Now I wanted to finish the inside of this nose thing there, and here I used some of the paper that is on this cardboard. Now I need a bigger piece. I just got very small pieces of cardboard here. Here's a nice piece on there. I don't know if this is the same actually. It looks the same. So I will take this off here again. So as I did before, just a pointy thing. Yeah, I will put that on the close-up cam again. Pointy thing goes in there. Here, and I am, or is it the same color? I don't know. Here first, the one side, oops, and then I do the same thing to the other side, other side. To here separate the cardboard layer by layer. It's really easy with some cardboard and extremely hard with others. Perfect. Now here I know that I will use the curvature down here. I will measure that, and okay, maybe I should stop using this. Here, this is like the lengths that I want to have, or that I want it to be, and here I can like test the height with this. Okay, around this length. Here. Now, what I know is that this is supposed to be the quarter of a ball. Yeah, so it's like a 90-degree cut out from a ball, and cardboard won't bend to the shape of a ball. That means I have to give it the possibility to go around, I have to give it the possibility to really overlap, and that's what I'm trying to do with these incisions here. This might even be enough for this little bit of curvature there, and yeah, I try to first glue down this bottom part, and then once this is this has been like really pressed down and glued down and stuff like this, then I can address the rest of the cardboard one by one. So here, this is just about having like a starting point that I can work from then. And here right now you see that it is nearly not perfect, but this is quite an okay site like this. That means I will cut everything away that I'm like sure that I won't need. Okay. And now I try to just add in some glue. I try to get it under the cardboard or under the paper here, and okay. Now I will stretch this out as good as I can from my position here, and take excess glue out. Now there should be glue everywhere below this, and I will just try to round it off. Try not to give it too much pressure or stuff. I just want here, and I want it up to the top. And this is something that I have to watch out for. For as soon as I get glue on this spachtel, the glue will stick to this paper, and then then it's very easy to pull off single pieces of that, and in this way really kind of work against what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to have a really nice surface here. Okay, I think this is perfect to let it dry a bit, at least this top part here. I will remove the glue that I don't need. Okay. And now, what would be the next thing? I think it is to blend this part here with my scribbles on top of these grill things. And yeah, I have to cover them before I can start thinking about this like grid mesh that is behind these bars here. Well, I fill up the cardboard again. Okay. Hey, let it soak in a bit, and now I will have to decide on what kind of paper I want to use on here. I just go with what I have laying around here. the only thing that I want, but maybe I just give this another coat of paper, is that this is actually should be lighter than the other stuff. For in the original thing, this is some kind of silvery looking, but yeah, I don't want to paint it, but I want it to be lighter than the other stuff. But I don't really want it to be white, so I will use no printer paper. So I think I got some gray packing paper, and that might have the right color for it. Yeah, actually, the same color as. Wait, I show you. Here, as I used for the Rambo knife, and here on the back I used it too. And here this, this will be a nice or a good enough contrast for this aluminium thing here and the rest of it. Okay, here, this will okay, how do I approach this? The first thing is that I just want to cover this grilled things here. And maybe if I try to get an idea with here, if I through, or if I'm like doing this, I can kind of see how far it is, or the outline of it, and yeah, when I go along the outline, it should be good enough for me. Okay, here. And this can be brought around here. Come on, cut. Okay, and now what I like to do when I cover a surface, it's like a bit like what I've done before. I first want to have at the start I want to have one surface that is like my start for it, because if you're the paper is still floating around, it is very hard to sometimes stretch it across the surface. And here, when this paper gets wet, it has a real tendency to here have all kinds of creases in them. And then sometimes you really have to take it and really stretch it in one direction to get rid of some, or not to introduce others. And therefore, it is like really necessary to have one side that is already glued down in a secure way. Now for this here, I actually don't want to do this in 2 steps, so I want to glue this whole thing in 1 step. But I don't want to have any glue on this packing paper where there's no glue needed. For the less glue is on there, the less the whole paper will kind of stretch. That means I put it down on the surfaces themselves, and then try to be fast enough with stretching it out with my tools here. And I don't want excess glue to be anywhere, which means that I'm going to remove all unnecessary glue, as I did before here, and normally I smear it on my hand, for it's the easiest way for me to get rid of it. I would advise you not to do it, or some people might be allergic to this stuff. If I would be allergic, I think I would have noticed by now. Yeah. Okay. Here, just trying to get rid of excess glue. For the perfect way to do this would be to have a perfectly stretched out film of glue that is with an even thickness everywhere, and that is very thin. But the problem is that if it's too thin, it dries too early, and if it's too thick, you get a lot of creases. Now here the surface was not very big. The surface that I'm any mail. Wait, hey, any mail. Here, there's a fellow YouTuber which I went to school with, who got a really nice channel. He's doing bird videography, and mainly he's focusing on the sound of birds. And yeah, I really like his stuff. And yeah, you should check it out. Animail is the search term you should use. And yeah, I hope to remember to write it down in the description once this goes in there. Okay, so as I was trying to explain, is that it is very important for these builds where you want to cover your whole model with paper or brown paper or whatever kind of paper, that you have a very uniform a very uniform layer of glue on all your stuff. For the more uniform it is, the better the glue will dry and the less wrinkling will appear. And what I'm trying now is to, I mean, here, if I press this in, right here, I can see the impression where my detail is that I want to cover, and I don't want to waste any of this paper, and that means that I will try to cut right down the middle here, right between two of the features. And here it's really helpful to, like, yeah, make them show up on your paper. Here, see, when I'm using this iron stuff here, can you see that it gets very shiny along the edges? And that's what I try to do. And then I do an incision and go through the whole way in one cut. Now for the edges, I try to stick my knife into the edge and then cut towards the my initial cut that was in the middle. And here, this is just an edge, so I just need one cut from here all the way to the end. Why wasn't this working? Like this. So this I will do to all the... Oh, here I'm like, that was not in the middle, but this is not that important now. I hope this one will be more centered. Here. So always watch out that you don't cut yourself. Here. Now here you can see what this looks like from behind, and to have some kind of control over my glue placement, now everything should have dried, at least enough to pull this up. Now for this kinds of stuff, I most of the time just give me a blob of glue, and here put my my sculpting tool in there and just apply it this way, for I don't want the glue to be everywhere, because yeah, that would ruin the surface for the next layer of paper. And here, what you can see now is how nice the corners look. Here, once you start to layer this on top, and I think this really helps this mechanical look, especially for this part of the build. The only part that I don't like about this technique is that, yeah, it's taken away from this real cardboard look. But as you can see, there's still like a hint of this cardboard wavy pattern visible beneath this packing paper. This, or brown paper. This is this brown paper bag. But for Vader, this is so all this shininess to his helmet is so iconic that I just have to spray to gloss paint him in the end. And gloss just works if you got a nice surface, and so it is very called for to be a bit obsessive with the surface when it comes to Vader here. I still don't like it if the edge is too perfect. Here, you see that? And then I always try to round off this edge too. So I'm not looking for perfect edges. I'm looking for nice looking rounded edges that really catch the light and carry the highlight to give nice looking edges. So I don't like these 100% edges, I would call them. There always needs to be a little radius on every edge. Okay. So I will just switch the camera so see if there's a newcomers to the stream. This is what we are building, or what I am building, and right now I am working on the front of the mouthpiece, this triangular shaped cover of his respirator kind of thing, the most iconic part of his helmet. And that's why I'm like extra not careful, but I don't get the right word right now. I can't catch it, but it will stick with me. So I just need this to be a certain level of craftsmanship, at least with the way I envision it. So I want this to be like a standout piece, and that's first and foremost because I always wanted the Vader. And now when I take the time, I can like invest 20 or 30% additional time to get it better, as opposed to rushing it, and then I will be mad at me for not really trying to give it my best. And this way I'm using my my techniques in a way, or I will definitely use each and every technique that I encountered till now on this build. That should be of interest to people that actually want to do it for themselves. Oh, maybe they can listen to this while they are building their own stuff. That's something I tend to do. With people that do speed paintings from drawings and stuff like that. I try to have that on in the background when I'm building stuff or when I'm working on my computer, and then I from time to time I watch the screen, and if it is if something happened that I missed or haven't hear him talk about, then I'm just rewinding and trying to catch it. So I really like live builds, for it actually convinces your brain that it becomes normal in a way. If you watch someone do something and you watch him do it a lot of times, you actually learn just from watching it. And this is a very, very nice effect of YouTube, that I was able to watch some of like the best graphic artists in the world, the best sculptors in the world, that I was able to watch them do their stuff. So it's unbelievable. It's just years ago that was nothing you could even think of, or I couldn't think of it for no, that I would be able to watch Sid Mead, for example, do complete a whole drawing, and he's talking about what he's doing there. And same here for some sculpting stuff. There's Jordi Ladu. I don't know if on YouTube there's a thing building monsters, and he's one of the regular sculptors there. And this guy is so good. Even before I saw this building monsters thing, I bought a DVD from what is called Gnomon Workshop, where he's explaining his techniques. That was mind-blowing. So, and then I watched it 2 or 3 times, and just from watching it, I actually learned so much, and I gained so much confidence that I tried stuff that I was afraid of before. Or not really afraid of, but where I had an unhealthy amount of respect. I thought, oh, so I might not be able to pull that off and stuff like that. So for technically, I should have been able, but there's so much head stuff going on with stuff you do. So, and doubt and this self-confidence, or not being confident, and then trying to cover not being confident and thinking, oh, they are so good, I can never do that. Or saying like, oh, they are so talented, I will never be able, or I'm not so blessed with that talent. without thinking about that most people that are really good at something just worked really, really long at getting this good. So there's very few people that just know it all, have it all. Especially for, they might be good with one tool, but they then they can't apply it to anything else. For talent is can be a curse too. For if everyone that you know for your whole life tells you, oh, you're so good, you're so good, and then one day you realize, okay, you are kind of good, then you just then there's a big chance that you stop to improve. For why should you try to get better at it when everybody always told you that you're like the center of the creative world? I think that's very hard for some people to actually continue to expand their knowledge, or they just don't really want to do that after a certain amount of time. And so most people that I know that got very far with creative stuff are mostly most of the times the ones that are really obsessive about it. So, and that will always do something creative. So they don't just see it as a job. Or can you okay, am I still visible? I don't know if this is live now, or if it's not, if I'm okay, my PC just blue screened, so it's I don't know, every day once, even though the I don't think that it's a heat problem. I don't know. Maybe I have to watch the log file. What I was going to do was here, show you this. Can you see how beautiful the surface looks? This just looks like one part. I really love this. It's unbelievable. So now I will get rid of this stuff on top here. Now I will just finish this off by applying paper from the top. Okay, so the whole upper surface will now receive a bit of resurfacing love. I will just here there's some bumps in here that I want to like smooth out with a little bit of glue. Hey, hi to the people that are still here or that came back right now. What can anyone tell me what happened on like your side of the stream? With me it was just a blue screen and that was gone, and then I just restarted the machine and started to do everything as fast as possible to stay in the same stream. So did that work out or not? I'll have to get into this, or I have to figure out why my machine keeps blue screening. I mean, it's an old PC by now. I think this one is. Oh my god, how old is it? 8 years, 6 or 7 years old. Or it is the first Intel i7 that was released, and it was the smallest one of the new i7s. And then I updated the graphics card and stuff like that over the time. But the basic machine is Z, and that I can even run stuff on it. That I still can run stuff on that machine is kind of incredible. So I'm not too upset about this blue screening thing, but it would be nice to be able to figure out why it's blue screening for if I could get rid of it. This is still a nice machine for all this streaming stuff, I think. Even though I can't really open any more windows, and it gets kind of stuttery when I do graphic overlays and so on. But yeah, I would like to keep it for the streaming purposes. So don't want to spend money on a new machine. I'd rather spend money on additional camera equipment. But that too is not really on priority right now. Right now it's my priority is finishing Vader and getting as close as I can to the quality that I like imagine him to be. I just have to check something out here. If there was a third video created now. Okay, there will be one more thing to learn in a couple of minutes. For as far as I understand, I'm supposed to have a small break in between in every stream for YouTube to be able to archive my streaming efforts. But what I don't know is how long I have to pause it or stop it for this to happen. So I did it 3 hours ago, and I lost nearly everybody that was watching, and that was very unfortunate, and I don't like that. For I'm very grateful that you guys, or you girls, you people, but that sounds strange. Here, that you're watching, and I'm not aware of a way around that right now. So if I can just say here, make this. So this whole Vader project is there for me to build Vader on the one hand, and on the other hand learn about the streaming stuff. And I think the picture quality has dramatically increased since my first streams. I actually think, even though it is still not good, that it's even far from good, that my English is a bit more fluent now. For I'm getting used to talking to myself for most of the time. So this pilot project of live boarding or cardboarding Vader live, I think it's it has been a good experience so far. I need okay, here's another one of these bags, and I just when I use this paper to cover a surface, I try not to have any print on it, for the prints will always show through when you glue stuff down. Okay, I try to, as I did before, get an outline of what I'm doing here, and this way I just hold this to the top and then try to this way. I'm here. Can you see that? I am left with the complete outline. And this is just like roughly what I need. Yeah, the big one. And why have I this and this? Okay. Ah, here, this was confusing me. Okay, for now, I don't need any more paper down here. So I just need the sides. But maybe I can use the pencil here. Okay. Oh, I can even look. There's still gaps in here. Very good. Very nice. Here I was able to paint through the gaps. Okay, is it possible to see that? I hope so. This leaves me with the this presents the opportunity to just put cardboard up where to just glue this thing where I need it. Oops, wrong side. I try to, as I said before, have as little glue on there as possible to avoid unnecessary creasing. I will spread it out with this. You can use a piece of cardboard for this too. And I don't want any glue to drip in there or get in there. Okay, here there's some definite need for it, and I will have some on the edges here, for I will need a small overlap. And now I will just press it on here. Immediately turn it around and try to get rid of unnecessary creases. Okay, here there's some. Very, very nice. Okay, it will be a bit difficult to wait. Okay, the stream is just over 3 hours long now. I try to save stuff as a stream right now, for I fear that it will cut away the beginning. Yeah, it's just 3 hours that I'm allowed to have as a stream length. So I hope, please wait. Please wait for me. I will be back soon. Okay, I have to stop stream. Okay, I don't know if this worked. I'll have to... No, it did not work. It's still taken away from the video. Please wait. I have